UFC 324 is just around the corner, and with this being a new year, I thought this would be a great time to restart this channel and actually post some videos I want to do on here. So without further ado, I got some picks for UFC 324. Let's run through them together. All right, so let's talk about this fight. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo in the bantamweight division for UFC 324. I love this matchup. This is absolutely awesome matchmaking. I feel like this is going to be a fun fight. Of course, you got Deiveson Figueiredo, which is more of that striking aspect. Then you got Umar Nurmagomedov. He has the striking, but obviously he showed some great wrestling in his last fight against Mario Bautista, and also being able to face adversity from that fight, being almost knocked down, to still being able to pull off the win in that fight. So from seeing both of these guys fight, I would say Umar is definitely more in his prime as far as UFC fighting career compared to Deiveson Figueiredo. He's already been through the championship caliber of fighters. He's had his title run, and he's just collecting a couple of losses as he's gone into the bantamweight division. Don't get me wrong, he's winning his fights, but do I think it's going to be a very competitive matchup against Umar, who is like only lost one time against debatably one of the greatest bantamweights of all time? I don't think it's going to be that competitive. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see Umar get a finish via submission, or he just kind of goes to a decision. I definitely think Umar Nurmagomedov, he's going to win this fight going into 324. All right, let's talk about this one. This is another fun one. We have the featherweight division. We have Arnold Allen finally getting back into the octagon versus Gene Silva. Oh man, this is such a fun way to start the year. I've been dying to see Arnold Allen fight again. If I'm not wrong, I believe the last time we saw Arnold Allen fight was against Mazar Imavov. And that was like what, nearly 2 years ago. So he's been so out for so long. So it was nice to see him booked into a UFC card. And of course, you got Gene Silva. He's trying to come off that loss over Diego Lopez. And I'll tell you what, this is a nice little bounce back for both of these fighters. I mean, if Arnold Allen manages to put away Gene Silva, he's right back into the conversation of being in the top 5 once again. And Gene Silva, if he's able to have a awesome statement win against Arnold Allen, I wouldn't say he's in title picture, but he is definitely up there. He's going to be in the top 15, top 10. He's going to be in the conversation for another big name like Diego Lopez. But of course, you got to figure out what happens in the featherweight division with Volkanovski and Diego Lopez rematching in February. However, without further ado, I think my prediction is just going to be, I'm going to go with Gene Silva. Gene Silva, yes, he's coming off a loss. However, he just has a lot of momentum right now. He's definitely been way more active than Arnold Allen. And I'll say this, Gene Silva is very unpredictable and he's very wild. And yes, that did cost him in his last fight. However, it works the majority of the time. You never know what this guy's going to throw. And I think Arnold Allen, he's pretty precise, but almost sometimes too precise. I think that's what kind of costed him in the Masvidal v. Marval fight. He didn't take enough chances where I think he could have, done better, had better in the exchanges against Imavov. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Gene Silva. He's going to win this fight. I could definitely see it going by finish. I wouldn't be surprised. I say this for every single one, but once again, another fun matchup. This one's in the heavyweight division. You got Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Am I crazy, or I thought was Derek Lewis ranked? I thought he was. Anyways, maybe they just have it organized like this, but I thought Derek Lewis would be in the left side instead of the right side. But anyways, oh man, this is like, I don't know if you can really predict heavyweight matchups like this. I mean, they're just gonna go out and just punch each other until one of them falls first. And who is gonna fall first? That's the interesting one. Oh man, I don't know. I want to say Derek Lewis. I love Derek Lewis. He's so fun to watch. Of course, iconic celebrations, but man, if anybody's going to get it done, it's going to be Waldo Costa. Man, the year that he had in 2025, he wanted to fight one more time in December. This guy has been active, man. I mean, dude, Derek Lewis can try to pull all the tricks that he wants in the bag. Like he said, he's going to eye poke him, kick him below the belt. But, man, Waldo Acosta, he fought off of his last fight based off getting an eye poke and still got the finish. So if an eye poke ain't stopping this man, I don't know what's gonna stop him. Based on who's been more active and based on the fights, I would say my safe pick would be Waldo Cortez Acosta. But as always, wouldn't be surprised if Derek Lewis hits him with that overhand, puts him to sleep, and then we're going to get Tom Aspinall versus Derek Lewis. I'm calling it. If Derek Lewis wins this fight, you need to book him against whoever is going to win the heavyweight championship. Either it's Tom Aspinall or Cyril Gahn, or if Alex Pereira moves up, get this man in a title bout. Has to be done in 2026. Moving into the bantamweight division, another big fight for this division. Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Very, very good matchup. Two strikers. I bet O'Malley is very, very excited to not be fighting Marab or any wrestler. They could have definitely gave him Umar. And oh man, O'Malley would have definitely lost. But without further ado, man, this is an exciting matchup too. I mean, it's going to be an interesting fight. I definitely think it's a winnable fight for O'Malley. I mean, if you just look at the reach advantage that he has, 72 to 67. Also in the leg reach, he has a 2-inch reach advantage. So if he's able to use that range and kind of pick Song Yadong apart, I could definitely see O'Malley getting a decision. Do I see him finishing Song Yadong? No. Do I see Song finishing him? Possibly. I think with Song being the shorter fighter, he knows he's going to have to get in close to land those strikes against O'Malley. So he's going to have to put the pressure. And with him putting the pressure, as we've seen O'Malley, he can kind of fumble when somebody pressures him a lot. I don't think he can fight very well going backwards. He has to be planted, especially if somebody's going to shoot at him. I know Song is not known for his wrestling, but if he can mix up the striking, wrist the wrestling as well, man, he could give O'Malley a lot of trouble. So I definitely think this would be cool for Song to win, because this would also put him into title contention. Definitely a lot of fighters in that division that are on their way to a title shot. And this is definitely one where if O'Malley wins, he's right back in the conversation, especially since Marab just lost to Peter Yan and O'Malley beat Peter Yan. I mean, the UFC is going to push that. If O'Malley beats Song Yadong, they're going to book Peter Yan O'Malley. They're going to book that for the White House. Like, there's no way they don't do that. I mean, that's just like night and day UFC matchmaking right there. Man, prediction for this one. I'm gonna go Song. Song Yadong, I mean, he's has the momentum. I guess it wasn't a fun win over Henry Cejudo, but he got it done. Who was the last guy he fought? I want to say it was Peter Yan, and I think he lost against him as well. Can we check? Uh, it was against Peter Yan, and Peter Yan won. So interesting. But I think Peter Yan and O'Malley are very different strikers. So I definitely think Song Yadong still has it. Moving into our co-main event of the evening, we have the champ Kayla Harrison versus the GOAT Amanda Nunes. I'm so excited for Amanda Nunes to come back. She is so awesome, and man, that division has been so boring without Amanda Nunes. I mean, yeah, you got Kayla Harrison, which arguably revived the division since Amanda Nunes has left. Because let's be honest, Juliana Pena was not going to be pulling pay-per-view numbers, was not going to be pulling people like that. But Amanda Nunes, man, I'm so excited for this fight. I definitely think this is more exciting. A lot of people were talking about the Shevchenko Wang Lee fight, how awesome that was going to be. But I think we all realized going into that fight that, man, Wei Lee was super undersized. And I think the thing that we can appreciate about this one is that you're going to have Harrison and Amanda Nunes. They're both pretty big. I mean, we've seen how much weight Kayla Harrison is going to cut just to make it to bantamweight. And I think that's going to be a big factor going into this fight. With Amanda Nunes just having the resume of fighters that she has, but also the champion experience going 5 rounds. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've seen Kayla Harrison go 5 rounds. I think she's won 3 rounds, but hasn't been 5. Of course, when she won against Juliana Pena, it was in the 2nd or 3rd round via submission. But I definitely think the idea for Amanda Nunes is to wear out that gas tank, you know? I definitely think she can stuff some of the takedowns from Kayla Harrison, and if she does get taken down, I'm pretty sure she can scramble, try to get out of situations where at least she's not gonna get submitted. Sure, she'll spend a little bit of time probably down on the ground just because of how big Kayla Harrison is. However, I think she'll definitely be able to survive, and I think the bread and butter for Amanda Nunes is going to be the striking in this. I definitely think in the later rounds, we could definitely see a depleted entire Kayla Harrison, and that's when Amanda Nunes should put the gas to the pedal and just go for the finish against Kayla Harrison. My pick would be Amanda Nunes, either fourth or fifth round finish. I definitely think a knockout or a TKO. However, you know, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, Amanda Nunes has been out for a while. You don't know what she's going to look like. You can use Henry Cejudo, for example. You know, we didn't know what he was going to look like. And oh boy, he should have stayed retired. So hopefully that's not the case for Amanda Nunes. I hope she goes out there, has an awesome performance, and she regains the bantamweight division. But the question would also be was like, what would be next for Amanda Nunes if she beats Kayla Harrison? So in the case of future matchups, it would be great for the division if Kayla Harrison wins. But it is definitely going to be the toughest fight of her career, and I'm very excited to see who's going to come out on top. So let's talk about this matchup with Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight title. I hate that it's an interim fight, but you got to understand with Ilia Topuria, all the stuff that's going on, he's got to take time off. We'll see him back definitely this year against the winner. And Armin will definitely not touch that title anytime soon. But let's talk predictions about this. So this might be a hot take. I got Justin Gaethje. I think Justin Gaethje is gonna win. I've been sitting on this one for a while. I thought Paddy Pimblett. I was like, oh, dude. As soon as they announced this fight, my first guess, I was like, oh, dude, Paddy Pimblett is gonna demolish this guy, and I still kind of think that. However, you can't count out Justin Gaethje. And if you also, we click on Paddy Pimblett and we go look at his resume, you got Jared Gordon, which a lot of people thought he lost, including myself. Tony Ferguson, the undefeated boxing champion right now. So I guess maybe that means something. Bobby Green. Yeah, cool. And then you got Michael Chandler. You know, there's definitely some names on there, but are there names that are going to be like, oh man, this guy should have been next in line for somebody like Justin Gaethje? I guess so, but I definitely think it wasn't like title worthy. But once again, I understand the circumstances. But I definitely think Justin Gaethje is going to give him a lot of problems than what Michael Chandler did going into their fight. Now, what I think that Paddy Pimblett needs to do going into this matchup is to use his weight. He is going to be the bigger fighter walking in there that night, and he's going to have the reach advantage. Now, with that being said, I think he needs to utilize his jiu-jitsu and just kind of smother Justin Gaethje. We've seen it in his career. The only times that he has been finished is when he gets to the ground. Of course, yeah, Khabib Nurmagomedov, who finished him, and then Charles Oliveira, who also submitted him as well. So I definitely think there's a weak point in Paddy Pimblett. I definitely would say he has some underrated jiu-jitsu. I definitely think that he could manage to pull off a finish on Justin Gaethje. I would say he needs to take him down. I don't think Paddy Pimblett needs to risk striking Gaethje because that is where Gaethje's bread and butter is at compared to Paddy Pimblett. We all seen in Pimblett's previous fights, he tends to leave his chin completely up in the air, and I definitely think with Justin Gaethje's striking and also with his coaching staff, they're going to be training that. They're going to be watching for that chin of Paddy Pimblett. And if Justin Gaethje connects, I definitely think he's going to be sleeping Paddy Pimblett. Now, I know we haven't seen Pimblett be knocked out or anything like that, but we've seen him rocked. We've seen him wobble, but he hasn't been hit by a guy like Justin Gaethje, one of the hardest hitters in the lightweight division. So I'd be very curious to see how he does withheld if he does manage to get rocked by Justin Gaethje. Because man, if he gets put out by Justin Gaethje, that would be a lifesaver. Because imagine if you would put Paddy Pimblett up against Ilia Topuria. Oh man, that would have been crazy. But oh man, like I said, I definitely think I'm going to go for the hot take. I know Justin Gaethje's at the end of his career, but this is definitely a winnable fight. Paddy Pimblett, like I said, he's got to do jiu-jitsu. If he does jiu-jitsu, he's going to strike, and he's going to give Justin Gaethje an opportunity to do what he does best, which is cause chaos, and he could definitely put out Paddy Pimblett. So without further ado, my guess is going to be Justin Gaethje. He will be crowned the two-time interim lightweight championship, and he would be the next guy up to face Ilia Topuria. And that's going to wrap up my predictions for UFC 24. I'm super excited for the new year, for all of these fights that they announced. I'm going to keep posting some videos. I'll definitely do a video kind of breaking down the card after it's done. We'll see how many picks I got right. I'll be very, very curious. I'm also very curious to know your guys' predictions. What did you think about mine? What are your predictions for UFC 324? Leave them down in the comments below. If you have not subscribed already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, that way you're notified the next time I upload a YouTube video, and let's see what goes down at UFC 324.